just finishing up week 3. Let's go ahead and jump on the scales and see how you did last week.
Donna, 203.5.
I've got some standings. In 6th place, down 4.2 pounds, 2%, Miss Deborah. In 5th place, down 2.6 pounds, 2.2%, Susan. In 4th place, down 8.1 pounds, 3.82%, Donna. In 3rd place, down 8.9 pounds, like literally knocking on giving birth's door. It's crazy that you can lose 9 pounds in the 3rd trimester when the baby is growing at its most. 4%, Catherine. In 2nd place, down 13.8 pounds in 3 weeks, 4.12%, Laura. In 1st place, down 11.2 pounds, 7.46%, Hannah. And new decades this week, Hannah is in the 130s. So awesome, girlfriend. Like, yeah, 3 weeks ago, you were at like 150, right? I think 150 was your starting weight, and now you're in the 130s. So awesome. So amazing. Awesome job, everybody. Tonight's going to be amazing. Tonight's going to be awesome. Tonight is one of those things that this topic, when I first decided that I was going to lose weight, I was going to recommit after we had our 2nd child. And this was the first thing that I committed to changing, that I committed to no longer allowing myself to do. There was 3 things that I committed to. This was the very first one right here, because I recognized I had used this in other parts of my life, but I had not used it when it came to my health. And so what we're going to be talking about tonight is that life and death is in the power of your tongue, and you will eat the fruit of it. So what we speak, what we say is what's writing the next chapter of our life. And what I will tell you is that your brain does not know the difference between a truth and a lie. It only knows what you tell it. That's it. And so often, people are like, so let me backtrack for a minute. So when I first recommitted and I was like, that's it, I'm sitting at the table, I'm ugly crying. I realized that it's not just it's my family's health on the line, not just my health. And that if I want my kids to be healthy, if I want my kids to love fitness, if I want my kids to love broccoli without butter and cheese, then I need to be the one setting that example. I can't expect to reap a harvest of things that I have not sown and that I'm not continuing to sow. Does that make sense? And so I was like, all right, I had heard about life and death and the power of the tongue through business. And I had applied it in business. I would speak things into existence. I would speak about the future business that I would have. I would speak about the future vacations we were going to take. I would speak about all these things in business that I was going to do. But I never, ever, ever, ever applied it to my health. And so when I started it, I was like, all right, that's it. That is it. You are going to put a muzzle on your mouth, Carmen. And the only thing that's allowed to come out of it are positive things that talk about where you're going. That's it. And if it doesn't align with the person you want to become, you will not say it. I will not say it. I'm committing to not saying it. And so I started this list, and I began to make a list of words that I used that didn't serve, that didn't align with the future I wanted. And I really took this serious. I really took this literal. I thought, okay, Lord, I'm going to like take you serious and I'm going to change this. And I'm going to tell you, it made all the difference in the world. In the mornings, when I woke up, again, we had a toddler and a baby. So a breastfeeding baby, just had a C-section, and a toddler who was going through potty training. When I decide to start, literally my first day of working out was my first day of potty training. What was I thinking? I'm going to start getting rid of the junk food with the breastfeeding infant, and I'm potty training at this point, a 17-month-old. Like glutton for punishment, right? And so I started making a list of words. And the first word, oh my gosh, the first word. And those of you that have ever been to First Steps to Success, you've heard me talk about this. The first word I ever wrote down, because I went to wake up that morning and I prayed, I'm like, Lord, please convict me if I use language or I use words that don't line up with where I want to go. Like, please convict me, and please convict me fast. And so I woke up that morning, I put my alarm across the room. I slept in my workout clothes, because my thing was I went to bed in my workout clothes because I used to be really good at pressing snooze and self-negotiating with myself for how much time I had left to sleep. And I was like, no, this does not serve me. I want to get up, not starting my day with procrastination. And so I woke up and my first thought was, I don't want to work out. I'm tired. And all of a sudden, I just had this revelation of, Carmen, and it flashed across you ever just see like a flash of things? And I saw me being tired as a mom, as a wife, as a businesswoman. And I thought, what does someone who's tired show up like? What is someone who's tired? What does their life look like? What does their marriage look like? What does their sex life look like? They don't have one because they're always tired. Are they a mom? Is a mom who's tired? Is she in the game doing stuff with her kids? So I wrote it down. It was the first word I ever wrote down. And I'm like, all right, I will no longer say that word. And I continue that to this day. Listen, this morning, and it's so funny. I not only won't say it, but I won't allow others to say it over me. So we just came out of First Steps to Success weekend, all 3 days, going to bed late, getting up early. And this morning, like we're only home for 26 hours before we leave. So we booked the earliest flight we could this morning to get home to have maximum amount of time with our kids. And so that meant after going to bed at 12:30, waking up at 3:15. And getting on a flight and getting home, and there was no nap. It was doing laundry, repacking, and soaking up every moment with our 3 littles. And so, you know how many times people were like, oh man, you're going to be so
tired.
And literally, there's this little thing that I do, and I'll tell you about it in a little bit. There's this little thing I do, and I'll tell you what it means, but in a minute. But as I say, ERTS. I don't receive it. I don't make agreements with it. I say, no, I'm going to be full of energy. I'm not going to be tired. I'm going to sleep really good on Monday night. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to sleep really good on Monday night. Why? Because my brain doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. It only knows what I tell it. So if I tell my brain I'm energized, if I tell my brain I'm excited, I know that I can do way far more further exceeding anything that I think I can physically. And if you're not mentally prepared, you will never be physically prepared. Ever. We've got to be mentally prepared. We've got to be mentally strong. And it starts with our words. If you look at the difference between people that are succeeding and people that aren't, the thing that determines that is the way they think. And the way they think is the way we speak. And the way we think and speak is the way we act. And all that equals our life, our future. And so tired was the first word I wrote down. And all throughout the day, I literally had a notepad, a little notepad and pen with me. And I would whenever I'd catch myself saying stuff, I'd write things down. And the next one was, I have to work out. And then I was like, well, that doesn't line up, because I'm the type of person, I don't want to do anything that I have to do. Like if someone's like, you have to do this, my natural thing is to rebel against what someone tells me I have to do. Anyone else on here ever been rebellious with anything? Someone telling them they have to do something? Okay, right. That's just like a little thing that goes off in you. And it's like, I have to. And it was like, no, Carmen, you don't have to. You get to. You're choosing to. And then it was taking it up a notch. Not only do I get to work out, not only do I choose to work out, but guess what? I am excited to work out. I cannot wait for leg day. I love leg day. Leg day is my favorite. Do you want to know when I stopped hating working out? Like legit stopped hating it? Is when I stopped saying that I hated it. When I stopped saying that I didn't like it. When I stopped treating it like a drag and I actually started saying that I loved it. And let me tell you, do you think the first time I ever said that I love leg day, I meant it? Do you think I believed it? Oh, I was so full of caca, I wasn't even funny. But I know my brain can't tell the difference between a truth and a lie. I'm gonna tell her words that line up with where I want to go, not with what my 98% thinking brain is thinking. So no, I love leg day. I love working out. I love waking up in the morning and setting this example for my kids. So again, speaking towards the future I want, not towards the one I had. Because if I kept the same language I've always kept, if you keep the same language, if you don't change your language, you don't change your words, you're not going to change your future. All right. So I continued to go down the list. And what's funny is when you start focusing on recognizing the language, recognizing the words that you're speaking, it's amazing how all these words start to be highlighted to you. The next one is, I have to steam these vegetables. I had a lot of I have to's in mine. I've got to drink this shake. I've got to steam these vegetables. I can only have 1 teaspoon of peanut butter. I've got to check in. It was almost like this victim type of speech of all these things I've got to do. Like somehow I didn't sign up for the program and I didn't have a choice in this. Like I didn't choose this. And it was just like, wow, no wonder I'm struggling. Look at these things I'm saying, and not even always out loud. But how many of y'all know that you don't have to speak out loud to talk to yourself? How many of you know that you talk to yourself all the time, even when nobody can hear it? So it was like, no, I love vegetables. Or it was, oh, I can't have pizza. No, I can't have the cookies. No, I can't have this. No, I can't have that. So it's like, okay, here's what I was saying. And then what am I going to replace that with? So no, I can have anything I want, but I'm choosing to eat according to my goals. I can have that Snickers. I can have the cheesecake. I can have the pumpkin cookies. I can have the Oreos. I can have the pizza. I can have all those things. So can you. But I was choosing to eat according to my goals. I was choosing to eat according to my commitments. Oh, I've got to drink this water. I got to get in 24 more ounces. Versus, oh man, I'm so excited about finishing my water today. In fact, I'm going to finish it by 5 o'clock. It's going to be a new record. Do you see how that changes things? Versus, I've got to get in 24 more ounces, or I cannot wait to finish my water today. I've only got 24 ounces left. And I think I'm going to get it in by 5 o'clock. It's going to be a new record. It changes everything. When you're with friends or family and they're like, hey, would you like some pizza? Oh, no, I can't have that. I'm doing this thing. Versus, no, I'm actually good. I'm 100% full. I ate before I came, but thanks for offering. So I say all that to say that if you see yourself in a situation where you're like, wow, I don't believe this. How can I still say it? It doesn't matter if you believe it. Act as if. Own it. I had to become the girl in my dreams, in my vision, on my Pinterest board, in my brain, long before I became her in reality. Does that make sense? So you have to choose fear or faith, because you can't do both. You can't walk in both. You've got to pick one. You've got to pick one. And I don't care how many times you've tried, how many times you've failed, how many times you've done something and gone backwards, you haven't followed through on your commitments. This is not that time, and you are not that person. This is a different time, and this is today, and you were called to here at this moment for such a time as this. And this is your time. Your time is right now to do this. And all those other failures have prepared you for this moment right now in time for you to do it. But if you don't believe that, my words will do nothing but make you go, yeah, in the moment. And then as soon as temptation comes, there we go right back. Whenever something's not going the way I want it to go, it's okay. Where am I stuck? Where am I holding myself back? I don't ever look for who's holding me back or what's holding me back. I look at what I'm doing that's holding myself back. The first place I look is in, not out. The first place most people look is out, not in. It is always you versus you. It is always you versus you. And so my question for you tonight, what is one thing that you are currently saying to yourself, and how can you reframe it or re-say it to make it positive?
I feel like I say to myself, I have too big of a number to lose. It seems like that's a whole different ballpark. So I guess I want to switch that to say, even if it takes time, you can climb on.
And do you know something else you could do there? Because you and I only started off 38 pounds apart. That's it. 38 pounds. If Carmen can do it, I can do it. If Kristen, hold on, let me get you some facts here, beautiful. Kristen from season 4 on day 1 weighed in at 330 pounds. Do you know within 1 year, Kristen weighed in at 143 pounds? Do you know Kristen has ran marathons? She started off heavier than you. She was in season, what did I just say, season 4? Hold on. Let me go back. Season 1, Shane started off at 386 pounds. Lost over 150 pounds in 10 months. It's okay sometimes. And I'm just giving you some examples of people who went through the program, had results. Kia started off at 314. So sometimes when people have less than us, we can think, well, I have more. How am I going to get there? But it's, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If Carmen can do it, I can do it. If Kristen can do it, I can do it. If Karen from season 1 can do it, I can do it. Karen from season 1 started off at almost 300 pounds. Melissa from season 4 started off at 366. So you certainly are not the person who's ever had the most to lose in the program. So it's reminding yourself, look at these people that have gone before me that have done it. And if they can do it, I can do it. Not only can I do it, but I will do it. And one day, a year from now, when someone else is sitting in my shoes and feeling like there's Mount Everest in front of them, Carmen's going to tell them my story. And she's going to go back on her Excel spreadsheet right now, and she's going to say, hold on. I remember Laura from season 9, and on her day 1, she was 320.4, but here's where Laura's at now. So you tell yourself where you're going. You tell yourself what that future is going to look like, what the triumph's going to look like. You are writing the story. And so when you start to say those words, no, here's where I'm going. No, this is not too big. I have been equipped with everything it takes. I have been chosen. in this group to have the biggest number. And it's because I've got this and I can handle this. And I'm also going to have the biggest story of the season. And it's holding those thoughts captive and reminding yourself those things. And in the beginning, sometimes reframing things takes practice. Does that make sense? But as we do it, we get better at it. See, I can reframe any situation in a moment. Why? Because I live this. I practice it. But just like in the beginning, when I said, how could you reframe that? You were like, you have to think, how could I say this? Because you're still like, it's a big number that I got to lose. But as you practice this, Laura, it will get easier and it'll get quicker. And then it'll become a habit to combat those thoughts and not live in them. And I'm really proud of you for using that example. Because a lot of times that would not be the example someone would want to use. They'd want to use a smaller one that wasn't as deep. So I'm really proud of you for saying that one. I know that took a lot to come out, and you've got this, girl. You're in the right place. And you're not alone.
There are several things. I've been working on this word thing for several years, my words. And I'm like Carmen. I mean, my boys and my family and everybody's just like, you are always correcting me. It's because I can't help myself. I'm like, so thank you for that, Carmen. I am going to go with, I thought about going with the my tired thing, but I think I'm going to go with, instead of saying I am so busy, I choose to say I am being very productive. Because then it makes me think about how productive I am with my time. And that's a whole other topic, but that's going to be mine because anybody can be busy.
Okay. I've always said for the past 33 years, I've been on a diet and I can't have that. And now I'm saying that's not on my eating plan and I've made a lifestyle change. It's not a diet anymore.
That's right.
And it's easy. It's easier to do that. It's something, like you say, in your mind. Like my mom, come here. My mom is here for 2 weeks, and I thought, I'm going to bomb for 2 weeks, because my mom is here, and she loves sweets. But today we walked through Costco and didn't buy one sweet thing, so. But let me tell you, this 84-year-old mama just come in from walking 6,500 steps.
Yes, good job. That's amazing. And I love that she's sitting right there. Oh, that's so amazing. Good for you, Mom. That's awesome. Way to be a supportive mom.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And Carmen, Frank has lost 11 pounds. He went to the doctor and he'd lost 11 pounds and he's not using his fast acting insulin as much. So since we've started this, so yes.
Go Frank.
So I have a long list, but one that's definitely coming up a lot is these cravings are so strong. And what I'm going to start saying is I am stronger than these cravings. Way stronger. Not even a match. So I have that written down and underlined. So
yes, and amen. Good job.
Amen.
All right, so I've written down a few, but I think the top one that gets me a lot is saying I don't have time, or I'll think about ways that I could shorten the duration of something that I need to do, because I think I always worry about being late. If I'm on time, I'm late. If I'm not early, I'm late. And so I'm always thinking about what's coming up next on my to-do list or next on my schedule instead of focusing on what I know I need to be doing in that moment. So I don't have time comes up a lot for me. And so what I'm going to start saying instead is that I have all the time I need and I manage my time well.
I have several. The one that I'm choosing to express here is I'm exhausted. And I'm going to change that to say I have all the energy I need to accomplish XYZ.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. What I want you guys to continue to do is the same thing you walked through tonight. And I know, as you said, many of you said, I have several of them. Keep looking, because as now you have attention on this, they're going to start popping up, and you're going to start catching yourself, and you're going to start noticing yourself saying things that don't line up. And if you say something, it's really simple. Does this line up with the future I want? Does this line up with the health I want? Does this line up with the person that I am currently becoming or not? And if it doesn't, we change it. We change it and we replace it with something that does. And when you start to do that, it's so funny. I think it's the difference between feeling like something is super hard or the way is easy and the burden is light. It really is our words. Our words, our words, our words. They matter so, so much. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that some of you guys are going to take me serious on this. And this whole teaching tonight is going to change your freaking life as it's changed mine.